Get off of there, you little bugger. The Arctic Cat hex clutch. Most people hate it. Some people tolerate it. We're going to dig into this one, see what condition it's in, and do a little bit of servicing on it. Now that we've got it on the bench, first thing we're going to do is turn it sideways, and I just want to get a look at how these rollers are lining up with the ramps that they go on. We want to see it be right in the middle. A sign of a worn clutch would be if it was trending one way or the other. That would mean that your little bushings down that hold the arm are worn out. These are called hex clutches because the main shaft that the clutch rides on is a hexagon shaped, and that's actually kind of one of the downfalls of this clutch is all of the torque from the engine is transferred through this bushing and that shaft, and they just wear out. Before we go tearing too far into this clutch, we do need to make sure that our cover, movable sheave, and stationary sheave all line up back again the same way when we put it back together. That's because this clutch is balanced with it all being together, so they just drill the holes out as needed. But if we took and cocked it a different way when we put it back together, it'd make us out of balance and we'd ruin our crankshaft. So we'll just take and scribe a little mark right there. Hopefully we can see that later. Now to get it apart, it's just 3 Allen keys that are 1/4 inch, which I'm sure I'm supposed to be using an impact on, but that's okay. Can take and run these out, and we're going to want to go evenly around the outside so the spring comes up nice and easy. And all the while I'm keeping my hand on it to keep it from flying anywhere. Okay, there's 1. 2. Okay. And now with our cover plate off, we're just going to take and remove the spring and set the cover back on. Okay. And what we're going to be checking for is how much this rotates. Now the manual says to rotate it one way, mark it, and then rotate it the next way and mark it again and measure the distance. That's supposed to be like 4 millimeters or less. But I think we got something a little interesting going on here. If we take our cover and rotate it, that's pretty tight. About as tight as they're going to get because they're still going to be able to move on that hex. But if we come to the movable sheave, that's a lot less tight. You can actually see how far it moves now on the rollers. It's going completely from halfway off this side of the roller to almost halfway off that side of the roller. That is completely unacceptable for our movable face bushing, which is very unfortunate. You can also see that as I raise it up, it just wiggles back and forth super floppy. That center hex is just completely worn out. Just look how much stuff is coming out of there. That's what wears clutches out, and that's why people hate these. But before I totally condemn this clutch, I just want to come in here and make sure all of these little rollers are still free, that there's very little play in the H-arm. You can see, this one is good. This one could be a little better. This one, still super tight. The roller on this one spins good. This roller spins good. This roller spins good. So somebody's been in here with new parts at some point because none of it is worn out as bad as that movable face sheave is. So I don't know what we're going to quite do with this yet. I think because everything is super tight except for this bushing, I'll look on the interwebs and see if we can find that movable face bushing. Might be a little slim pickings though at this point. I went to my local snowmobile parts store and they just so happen to have the bushing that we need. I only got the one for the movable face since this is all new. We don't need that. I guess that means I'm going to give it a go at replacing this bushing. Yeah, that's just no good. When we're putting it back together, it's going to be very important that we line all of the parts up for balance. So you can see I've got the movable marked, I've got the stationary marked, I'd mark the cover as well. I'm just going to come in here and mark our spider so we know that this side has to line up with our flats. And now I'll go ahead and back all these little set screws out, and hopefully we can get this spider off and pull these locking washers off. That wasn't so bad. That's just our lock nuts though. To get our set screws out, that's going to require a little bit of French wrench action, but this is kind of a make or break moment in taking our clutch apart. If any of these set screws break off, we're pretty much done. So I'm just going to take and lightly tap on the spider and ever so slightly, just kind of free things up. We might have to start heating these. I don't know. I guess we just kind of go for it. Oh, nice and easy. I think we got lucky with this clutch because it's probably been apart before. And I just want to be very easy working them back and forth to get them out. There is supposed to be Loctite in there, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah. Come on. I'll get the rest of these backed out and then we'll drop that down. Once we get our set screws all the way out, our spider should just fall right down. Might take a little wiggling. There we go. This will fall out. We'll take this one out. And there you can see the part that our set screw went in. And we're just going to lift this spider assembly out of here. Oh, come on now. You can see I got a little corrosion, so that's really holding us up. There we go. And there is our hex spider. We got to be real careful with that because those are hard to find nowadays. As I'm pulling it up, you can see that, we got a lot of wiggle, but we go and we get up into the non-worn part, and that's just as tight as the cover was. So that's kind of interesting and unfortunate. I don't think we're going to be replacing this bushing today because that still looks like a new bushing on this part at least. That means that our clutch, just the post here, is worn. It's just going to be what it is. I think that means we're in the market for a new clutch though. I'll get all these parts in the ultrasonic cleaner just to kind of put it back together so we at least have a clutch for now until we can find a new one. And yeah, we'll reassemble. Well, this clutch cleaned up pretty nice. We got all of the clutch dust off. Everything in the spider still moves free. The inside of that was really super dirty. That's all gone. Yeah. I am going to take just a little piece of emery and shine up on this hex shaft up here just to get this, little rust away. It didn't come off in the ultrasonic clean. You can see it shined up really nice. That's going to make our cover bushing last a lot longer and actually make our clutch a little bit more consistent. So now what I'm going to do is I've got this dustless lubricant. It's going to go on wet, but it'll dry and not attract any, clutch dust or belt dust. So what I'm going to do is just take and spray some in my rag. And I'm going to be careful not to get it on my sheaves. I'm just going to slather this hex up with it. I'm also going to get the inside of this bushing. I need a little more, probably. This stuff that I'm using has a molybdenum lubricant in it, and it's about the same as what the Comet lubricant is. So now I'm going to find my Sharpie mark, and we're just going to drop this on there. Yep, it is what it is. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my spider. I want to really focus on getting this stuff into your rollers. Really work it in, and then down in this pivot pin as well. This stuff is really made for chains, so it likes to like bunch up. But we'll just work it back and forth and roll the roller till it's smooth. Probably have to put a little more on. Okay, here we go. And we'll wipe off a lot of this excess here. That stuff won't dry. Just give it a good pat down. And I'll do the other two. Then we can put that back onto our hex as well. You can see my little Sharpie mark here, and we've got it lined up with the Sharpie mark on the movable face. And we're just going to wiggle this down onto there and, well, make sure that the arm is facing the right way. And then we're just going to drop it all the way down. Once it's down, make sure the arms are in place. Then we're going to grab our two little retaining washers and put those into the slot on the hex shaft. Orientation doesn't really matter on this because it's just two circles. Then we're going to raise up our spider, and while holding it up, which is kind of tricky, we've got to turn our set screws in and lock it down into place. This will take a little bit of time, but you still got to hold it up there and just get her all the way seated in. Then we're just going to torque down our set screws, and that's about good. Not too much. We want to make sure we get each and every one. That's about good. And then we can take and turn in our stop nuts and make sure we get the right wrench here. And these little nuts are just brass, I think. So we don't want to torque on them too hard, just enough to keep them from spinning. And that's about it. Next, we've got our spring retaining cup. That doesn't really have an orientation. We'll just drop that on there. And then we can grab our spring and set that right on top as well. Now I'm just going to take some more of my lubricant, and we're going to get the inside of the cover bushing. I really want to make sure I get this one good. Yeah, let's get that nice and soaked up. Now I'm just going to grab a new belt, and we're going to put that in between the two sheaves. And what that's going to do for us is hold it up and bring our bolts closer to the holes in the cover. Now I'm going to grab my cover and make sure I find that Sharpie mark that we had. And yep, that lines up with the Sharpie mark that we had before. And we're just going to set that right on top of there and get all our bolts into place. Now we could either use a press or just kind of struggle with it like we're going to. We got to get it down on the hex square. And then I'm going to have to use my body weight to hold this down and thread these bolts in. And keep everything lined up. This is a good time. We're having fun. Okay, there's one. Once I get the second one in, we'll be set. Here we go. This one should go pretty easy. Alright. Oh, that was fun. And last thing we need to do is torque these bolts down to 15 foot-pounds. Get off of there. I'm not particularly thrilled with the way that this clutch is, but it should last me long enough where I can find a good Comet 102 or 108 EXP and plant it onto this thing. I guess we'll get this thing put back on the El Tigre and torqued back down to 55 foot-pounds on the bolt. And that'll about do it for today. I hope this video is helpful. If you like this sort of thing, consider subscribing and give me a big thumbs up. I'll see you next time.